Hey everyone, it's June, and welcome to part 2 of the reading that I did for the last day of September, September 30th of 2021. I used the Majestic Earth Tarot. The box looks like this. And if you haven't seen that video, I did a past, present, future spread, and when I think about the future, I don't think about it as a predictive tool. The tarot is not a predictive tool for me, meaning I don't look at the card and think that this card represents exactly what the future holds. I tend to approach it more as a question of, does this feel like something I'm worried about? Does this feel like something I'm hoping for when I think about the future? So that being said, my reading, the past was Two of Water. Come on, camera. Okay. The present was Temperance. And I need to figure out the right distance. Sorry, everyone. And then the future was the Moon. Come on, camera. I feel like I need to beg it like a, puppy or a kitten. So the last video, I saw a few things that stood out. There's an interesting progression from like morning to sunset to night, and also from 2 people, 1 person, no people. But realize that this deck does have a little guidebook, so this video is going to be primarily focused on trying to understand what the heck is happening with the guidebook. If you hadn't realized, I am a beginner tarot reader, so please bear with me. Okay, so when I'm thinking about the past, I am thinking I drew the Two of Water, or the Two of Cups, in the Rider-Waite Tarot system. So this is the description of the Two of Water. Let me see if I can multitask and hold the card and read the description. Joining hands, a couple watches a city materialize on the horizon. The sail billows above like a wing carrying them forward, protecting them, blessing them. Anchored in partnership, the couple leans forward in excitement and anticipation of a new or renewed life. They exemplify harmony, loyalty, support, and kindness. That feels like my relationship. I do feel like our partnership has been very solid. The anchored in partnership feels really resonant. And I guess it's kind of like the foundation really of my current life is we spent a lot of time together. And we did, even before the pandemic kind of forced that in a lot of other homes. And in general, like I suspect we probably spend more time together than the average couple. Yeah, so this one feels like it's kind of telling me this is what built my foundation for the present. All right, let's take a look at Temperance. So Temperance is card 14. I feel like this is one of the cards that, like, Temperance, maybe the word used to be used more often and now is not really, because I had to look up what temperance meant. It's something to do with like balance and tempering, right? Like adding something to something else in order to bring it closer to the middle. So again, we're going to try to do this thing where I like read the thing and also hold the card up. A woman salutes the sun with a gesture of openness. Standing at the cusp, she is comfortable with sunrise and sunset, at peace with day and night. Having inward and outward balance, she knows when to act and when to wait. She embodies a grace that provides protection and peace. I don't think that was focused on me, or I think it was focused on me and not on the card. Sorry. So this does not feel like my current experience. I have been really obsessed with the question of like, what is in harmony? What is in balance? I think I used to really think about harmony and balance as like 50-50 splits. Like if I was going to balance work and play, I would balance it by having half work, half play. Clearly not possible. But for some reason, that was like the only way that I could think about harmony was like 50-50. There's something really interesting in here where it said something about she knows when to act and when to wait. And I feel like this is the fundamental question of my whole everything. I'm always like, when do I keep thinking about like a situation, trying to understand it from all sides before I take action based on whatever my conclusions are? Like, when are conclusions too fast and when are they too slow? I feel like I'm always asking that question. So this doesn't feel resolved. This feels instead like a nod to the fact that I'm always asking those questions. So maybe it's very indicative of the present moment, because I am wondering, like, is it time to focus more on creative pursuits? Is it time to focus more on gaining extra client work in order to build a larger financial foundation? I don't know. Like, I think these are important questions for me to keep asking, is really what I'm getting from the reading. Okay, the future card. And again, I think about this as like, am I worried about something when I think about the future? Am I hoping for something? So when I see the moon, immediately I feel like maybe I'm worrying about something, but we'll see what the guidebook has to say. Okay, so the moon is 18. Tarot will really teach you how to read Roman numerals again if you get the right deck. Okay, let's try this one more time. Maybe this will be a failed experiment, in which case, thanks for your patience. Okay. The moon. Maybe pull back. Rocky towers lean over a misty gorge. The moon illuminates a strange figure under grand firs, perhaps a person or part animal, a traveler of the night. Symbol of the unconscious, night brings uncertainty, even terror, but also irreplaceable visions of beauty, like a waterfall of light. That's really lovely. I love that they call out the kind of like dual nature of night and of, I mean, really a full moon, that it is incredibly beautiful when the moon, like full moonlight in a natural setting, is unlike anything else. And the fullest moon only, happens once every 28 nights or whatever the moon cycle is. So I think there is something just ethereally, is that a word? I don't know. There's something really beautiful about moonlight. Also, it doesn't illuminate everything, right? It's not like sunlight. You can't see in the shadows. And I think that speaks to the terror. So when I think about the future, I mean, this is really what I'm worried about. I'm worried that I can't see into the shadows, right? Like, I can see the beautiful things that are illuminated by the moon, but I cannot see what's in the shadows. And I don't always trust that it's just a tree, or it's just some plants, or something else that like feels innocuous. I often imagine monsters, and I mean, like, you know, not gonna imagine like a not real. You get my point, right? Like, I don't have to explain that. I do think monsters are real, but they're mostly metaphorical, you know? But I think it is kind of fascinating to think about. Like, I think I thought this was really about my partnership because I told you all in the last video that I was having kind of a difficult discussion with my husband around roles in the house. What does balance and partnership really look like? And that was feeling really challenging because I feel like I've gone from really independent to like trying to model what my parents modeled as like a partnership, which no, I don't want to be like my parents, but also like that's all I know. So I really thought this was like about partnership, but I think it really is just about me and where I am at this present moment. And this is what I love about tarot, is that it does help me feel really grounded in understanding something about my past that has led me here, something about my present situation that I'm either struggling with or celebrating, and something about the future, again, that I'm like worrying about or hoping for. So this is really the firm foundation that my life is built on. Is I'm incredibly lucky to have a great partner who supports me when I need support, and I try to do the same for him. So this is what has gotten me here. Oh, hello, you're not supposed to be up here. Okay, that was Misha. She is naughty sometimes. And now she's yelling about it. Okay. So that was really the past. Like, this is how I got here. Temperance and this idea of balance, this is something that I'm always working on. I don't feel like I get it right. I don't know, maybe most of the time. But this is always what I'm striving for too, is like, what does harmony look like? How do I know when it's time to push and when it's time to rest? How do I know when it's my turn or it's not time for that yet? Like, when I say my turn, I mean like, should I be focusing on work, or should I be focusing on creative pursuit that maybe doesn't contribute financially? Like, that's probably something that some of you can relate to. So I'm always wondering, am I doing this right? And I feel like I'm often getting it wrong. So this card feels like this is the struggle right now, the struggle of right now. And I know that I don't talk about the tarot as like a divination tool, as a tool that tells me the future, but when I envision the future, if it isn't the moon, I don't know what it is, because it's basically like mostly shrouded in mystery, and I don't know if in those shadows there are really wonderful things or if it's just monsters waiting to get me. But what I do see, what the moonlight does illuminate, feels really magical, maybe too good to be true. You know, we've been doing a lot of thinking about the future. What does it look like? What does our family look like a year or 5 years from now? And what I see is idyllic, but I also don't know what I don't know, you know? So like, this one also feels like, it feels like what I think the future is, which is like beautiful and terrifying. And maybe some of you can relate to that. It is 2021 after all, and I think my personal sense of what was possible in this world shifted drastically, and I haven't made my peace with that. But yeah, I think, you know, like I've read in a lot of places that reading the guidebook is not always a good idea, or to like draw on your own intuition. And maybe these sets of videos, the first one where I didn't read the guidebook and the second one where I did, can help you decide which one you want to do. I do think, you know, some guidebooks are better than others, so like of course take that into account. But yeah, hope that this was helpful in some way. If you have other thoughts on how this reading went, or other insights into what these cards mean to you, or that you think they mean to me, I would love to hear them in the comments. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, did I say that already? I'm not really good at this call to action thing, so I am trying, but you know, bear with me. Hopefully they'll get better. If you enjoyed it, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you can also find me on other social media platforms. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me.